Shavuot Tov B'Dvach. Tonight's story is about one of the very, very famous Jews of the last century, Sir Moses Montefiore, who was from the wealthiest and most generous Jews of his time. He merited to live to be well over 100 years old. He was the honorary mayor of London. None everyone really knows how truly religious and dedicated to the mitzvahs he was. So here's a story about that, and perhaps there's a lesson we can learn. I hope there is. Sir Moses was one of the 10 Jews in the entire country of England that was allowed to deal in stocks and I believe in the precious gems market. And he had an office right there in the middle of everything, but everyone in the business knew that Friday noon his offices were closed until Monday morning. He would go home and honor the Shabbat, prepare for Shabbat, and of course Shabbat, Sunday, they were closed. And that's what he did, and he was, again, like I mentioned, extremely, extremely successful. One Friday night, he's sitting at his Shabbat table, surrounded by his family and many guests, many poor people, when there's a knock, an urgent knock on the door. They come to open it, and it's one of the important aides to Sir Moses' most important, wealthiest client. And he comes inside the room. He says, "I'm sorry to disturb your Sabbath, but I have an urgent letter from my master that he asked me to give it to you, that you'd read it and you should comment on it." Sir Moses asked him, "Is this life or death?" And he says, "No, it's business related." And Sir Moses said, "I'm sorry, it's my Shabbat right now. It'll have to wait till Monday morning." The man frowned and said, "My master will be very upset." And Sir Moses wished him a good evening, and he slammed the door on his way out. In less than an hour, he returned to the table, this time visibly upset, and he came over to Sir Moses and said, "My master said, maybe I'll open the envelope, I'll read the letter to you. He wants to hear your comments." And again, Sir Moses said, "If it's not life and death, it doesn't interest me. Please go back to your master and tell him Monday morning will be fine." He slams the door again and returns 30 minutes later. This time he says, "My master said that if you will not open up this letter and share your wisdom, then your Monday morning he will no longer be your client." And this individual was Sir Moses' wealthiest client, most important single client. Still, he said to him, "I'm sorry, but it's my Shabbat, and if that's what he needs to do, that's what he needs to do." And away he went. Shabbat afternoon, there's another knock on the door. And again, the same servant, the same assistant comes and says, "My master would like to see you as soon as the Shabbat is over." So Moses said, "I have to make a Havdalah. We have to make the blessing to separate between the Shabbat and the weekday. But I'll be glad to come to his mansion tonight if that's what he wants." So the guy leaves, and you could imagine for most of us how this would affect our Shabbat spirit. All these visits and all these threats, and now the urgent request to come right away, can't wait till Monday morning. So Sir Moses comes back home after the services, makes Havdalah for his family, and off he goes to the house of the mansion of this guy. Comes to the house, knocks on the door is thrown open wide, and there is standing this wealthy man, and he immediately embraces and he gives Sir Moses a bear hug. Quite surprising to Sir Moses. He's expecting to get fired a little bit earlier, and he doesn't know what to say. And the wealthy man invites him into his house and says, "Please sit down, Sir Moses." And then he tells him, "You have no idea how much money I made because of you. And what I really want to bring across is how much I gained financially and otherwise by your integrity." And Sir Moses doesn't know what's going on, so he says, "Please tell me what's happening." So the wealthy man said, "Last night, Friday night, I was sitting here in my house having a good time with two of my wealthy friends, drinking some stuff, and the conversation turned to our business situations and those who we employ. And I mentioned that I'm very, very successful thanks to my agent, Sir Moses Montefiore. And it's amazing that he's so successful when he only works 4.5 days a week." And they said, "What do you mean 4.5 days a week?" I said, "Well, Friday at noon, he shuts down, that's half a day. Sabbath, he doesn't work, and Sunday, he doesn't work. So 2.5 days of a week, he's not able to work, yet he's just unbelievably successful, and of course to my benefit. And he says, that's the Sabbath, to him is priceless. And my friends laughed and said, you're kidding. Every man, and I hate to say it, they probably said, every Jew certainly has his price. And for the right price, the Sabbath doesn't count, nothing counts. And I said, you're wrong about this man. This man really treasures his religion, treasures his faith in God, treasures the holy day of Shabbat. There's no way that he would respond to there's no price to buy him to transgress his Shabbat. And they said, let's make a bet. And I don't know how many thousands and thousands of pounds are put on the line. And I sent my messenger off to your house with a rather urgent request that you involve yourself in my business. When he returned empty-handed and said, no, you refused to look at the envelope, my friends had to cough up, they had to pay me that amount of money. They weren't satisfied. They said, let's double the stakes and send it back, this time a little bit more threatening, a little more urgent. We're sure that he's going to cave. And I agreed. And my servant came and he was instructed to be more threatening, which he was. But he too came back empty. He again came back empty-handed, and my friends had to give me double the money. Now they were really anxious to make some money back, and they said, let's double or nothing. Let's go even higher. And the bet went into the 20s, 30s, 40, 50,000 pounds, an enormous amount of money. And this time he was sent to say that I'm going to cut off my relationship with you and fire you as my agent, which he did. And again, thank God, thank you, you refused. So you made me a lot of money, probably more money than usual, just on your Friday night refusal. But really, more importantly, you showed me that you are a man of integrity, a man of your word, a man of your faith. So what has this got to do with us? Unless you're related to Sir Moses in your pocket, it doesn't mean too much probably. But the lesson and the inspiration is that our relationship with Hashem has to be very precious to us. There's no price to it. It is priceless. And we have to do our best to have that relationship and nurture that relationship and add to that relationship as often and as much as we can. Have a great week.